Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Pokemon fans of the world, you know it is, coming at you guys back again once again with a brand new video, and I present you guys with another top list video, not topless, okay, don't get that twisted. I mean, clearly you're seeing I'm wearing a shirt, okay, this ain't no MegaCrasher shirtless maniac shenanigans up in this, no. But what I present you guys with is another top 5 video, and I had made a comment in my last top 5 video stating that if we were to hit 50 likes, then I would drop another top 5 video for you guys tomorrow. That was yesterday, and tomorrow is today, obviously, and as you can see right here, ladies and gentlemen, we end up cracking that like goal open. I want to say thank you guys so very much for the amount of love and support that you have shown that video. But with all that being said, guys, it is now my time to deliver. So what I present you guys with is a top 5 video of Pokemon that I wanted to see get Alolan forms. So with that being said, this right here is strictly opinionated, but I will say once again, big shout out to my friend Jason who have helped me narrow down the list of 11, okay? There was quite a number of Pokemon that I wanted to see get Alolan forms, but sadly, we could only narrow it down to 5 because it wouldn't be as challenging if it was like a top 10 or top 11 list or whatever. And with the fact that Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is less than 5 days away, it seems like we're not going to be getting any new Alolan forms, which is a real heartbreaker. But here's the thing though, man. I figured, you know what? Let's bring a little bit of that kind of Alolan form spirit back anyways with a really fun top 5 video. So with that being said, I present you guys now with my top 5 picks for Pokemon that I want to see get Alolan forms. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so coming in to open up this list is a hot choice because we have Lapras go from being a water-ice type with its Cantonian counterpart into its Alolan form with the fire dragon typing. And this right here, you're probably wondering, how does it undergo such a drastic change? Well, let me tell you something, is that with Lapras inhabiting the Alolan region, it was known to have lived around volcano peaks like the Wella volcano, and over time it adapted to the environmental change, thus gaining the fire dragon typing. And it's also said by the people of the Alola region that this is to embody the spirit of the volcano which resides in the Alolan region. And I gotta say that if Game Freak was to implement a concept like this for Lapras, making it a Alolan Lapras be Fire Dragon, it would just be absolutely amazing, and it is a great typing. The ability that I would give it would be Flash Fire, and it would have an increase in its special attack while lowering its attack stat. And along with this huge change to its appearance, typing, and ability, it would have a huge change in its move pool, not being able to utilize its water and ice type moves anymore, but instead being able to gain access to the likes of Flamethrower, Lava Plume, Flare Blitz, as well as Fire Blast, Overheat, Dragon Pulse, and Draco Meteor, just to name a few fire and dragon type moves. It would get it all in its move pool, which is just absolutely ridiculous. Not to mention, it would get access to the likes of Focus Blast and Shadow Ball too. But with all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and let's move on to the next Pokemon. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 4 is a very cool choice for an Alolan Pokemon because we have ourselves Alolan Clawitzer. Now, its counterpart is that of a pure water type, but this right here, its Alolan form, is going to be that of a water ice type, and you can even tell with the amount of changes that it has a much lighter blue color, and not to mention, it has a very frosty looking cannon that is ready to launch very powerful attacks if provoked. Now, the reason why this Pokemon goes through such a drastic change is because you have Clawitzer that inhabit Mount Lanakila in the Alolan region, and due to its very cold temperatures, the Clawitzer had to adapt to the environmental change, so over time, of course, it went through this huge metamorphosis and became Alolan Clawitzer. Now, if it was up to me, it would keep the ability Mega Launcher, and it would have a slight buff to its defenses while lowering its attack. Now, as for the moves that it gains, it would obviously keep the ability to use Ice Beam, but it would have access to the likes of Freeze Dry, as well as Ice Shard, and Icicle Crash. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, we have ourselves Alolan Nanitoking. Now, unlike its counterpart being a Poison and Ground type, we actually have ourselves a changing of the type to Poison and Fighting, and you're probably wondering, how did this change come about? Well, given the fact that it lives in a completely different region with new climate, this Pokemon was living in a very harsh territory that allowed for it to adapt rather quick, dropping its ground typing and giving it the fighting typing, given the fact that this Pokemon gained a lot of muscle during this transition, and it loves to fight by nature. And if you were to trespass its territory, it would beat you to a pulp without mercy. So, travelers, be warned, because if you see Alolan Nidoking, run, because it ain't gonna stop until it pummels you down to the ground. And with that being said, it is gonna get the ability Sheer Force or Tough Claws as a hidden ability, and because of its changes, it would actually have a drastic increase to its attack stat, while lowering its defenses by a little bit, increasing the speed, as well as lowering the special attack. And for the moves, it would gain access to the likes of Drain Punch and Close Combat, as well as Gunk Shot if it doesn't already have it. So this Pokemon right here just becomes an absolute brute in battle, and firing off Stab Close Combats would definitely leave a huge mark on its opponent. So with that being said, woo! That is one Pokemon you do not want to piss off or come across in a dark forest. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so coming up next is quite possibly the most unique choice for giving a Pokemon access to an Alolan form, and that is Scizor. You know why I say that this is probably the most unique choice is because this would then make the only Pokemon to have an Alolan form, as well as having access to Mega Evolution. So can you imagine Mega Alolan Scizor? As you can see to the right, that is its Mega Evolution, and this right here, oh man, absolute badass at its finest. Now, the reason why it goes through such a drastic change in appearance and in many other ways is because back in ancient times in the Alola region, this right here was regarded as an exalted knight equivalent of a Pokemon. So when there was tough times back in the Alola region, when there was the war that broke out, you had armies upon armies of Scizor trained to defend the community and defend its kingdom. Now, the thing is, over time, given this huge change and major exposure to violence, it ended up dropping the Steel Bug typing and converted itself into a Steel Dark typing, given the fact that it's rather dark and cruel in nature because of the way it was brought up in ancient times. It was trained for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to fight. So it seeks and destroys anything that it feels is a threat to its territory, and when you go to challenge this thing in battle, you better look out because this Pokemon shows absolutely no mercy. Now, an interesting tidbit of information in regards to the lineage of Alolan Scizor is that only the chosen ones have access to Mega Evolution. So if an Alolan Scizor has access to Mega Evolution and converts itself into Alolan Mega Scizor, then it is said to be the new king next in line when the original king passes away. Now, given the fact also that this Pokemon is very dangerous by nature, it becomes even more dangerous, and this is how it goes. Because of its change, it becomes actually more faster, and it ends up having weaker defenses, but at the cost of having much higher speed. And what's more is that this Pokemon now gets access to Stab like Pursuit and Knockoff, and while it does keep the ability Technician, its other ability, which is a hidden ability, becomes Adaptability, which means that it essentially boosts its Stab, Steel, and Dark type moves by an extra 50%. Can you imagine Stab Pursuit and Stab Knockoff with Adaptability boost? That would be ridiculous. And something else that's absolutely ridiculous is that it gets access to Sacred Sword, given its ties in ancient Alola. So coming up next, last but certainly not the least, is a personal favorite of mine, known as Alolan Machamp. Now, this Pokemon right here gains its new rock and fighting type, and given the fact that it lives in a very, very harsh part of Pony Canyon, where all it does is fight, and given the fact that there are a lot of territorial Pokemon, this Pokemon gained access to the rock typing to have much better defenses when it is attacked unprovoked. But when you provoke this Pokemon, you better look out, because it has enough power to shape the land that it lives on. Now, having access to that kind of power just makes it just that much more of a dangerous threat in the Alolan region, and it is kind by nature, but do not trespass its territory, do not threaten it, do not piss it off, because it will hurt you, and it will hurt you bad. And if you think that you can try to break through its defenses, well, given the fact that it's got an added rock typing, makes this Pokemon a lot tougher defensively, as well as its fighting type makes it really tough offensively. And with this new change, it gets access to a big time buff in its defense and special defense, but a huge decrease to its speed and special attack. Now, given the fact that it also has access to this unique typing, it gains access to a brand new ability never before seen in the history of Pokemon, known as Mountain Fury. Now, what happens is that when you land a super effective attack on Alolan Machamp, its attack gets boosted by 2 stages. That is ridiculous, and this Pokemon is already dangerous and badass enough as it is, and now we just gave it a broken as hell ability. So I'd say definitely GG to all those that try to attack it and take it by surprise, because they will be destroyed. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that right there is going to conclude this video. I certainly hope you guys enjoyed this fun little video, and if you guys did, then make sure you smash the hell out of the like button, and if you're new here to the channel, then make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because YouTube does have this glitch where sometimes your videos that you upload will not appear in the sub boxes, so turning on notifications is really the best way to go. But I also post notifications all the time on Twitter, so be sure to follow me there too. Social media links and all that stuff is all going to be in the description box down below anyways, but be sure to check out my Twitter and my Facebook group and all that good stuff, and that way you guys can keep in closer contact with me if you guys want to reach out to me for anything, for any reason whatsoever. But with all that being said, guys, I want to say thank you guys all very much for watching this video. Don't forget, much love to you cool cats. I love you guys. You guys are just so tremendous and so awesome. Really appreciate the support, guys. I really do. So with that being said, subscribe, support, stay positive, keep it 100, and I will see you next upload.